Hey guys, welcome back to the Bae Podcast. You are on with our Dear Fear series. I'm your host, Miss West Creative Coach, and I have the pleasure of having TJ Self Care, Taneshia Johnson here today. I'm so excited. Taneshia, introduce yourself for the people before we get started.
Hi, yes, my name is Taneshia Johnson, aka TJ Self Care. I am a codependency expert. I specialize in supporting clients in learning how to center themselves first and take care of themselves emotionally. I'm the first time author of the book entitled When Depression and Anxiety Have a Voice, a clinical social worker, and I'm also doing one-on-one coaching at this time too.
Amazing. You know, I had to do the happy dance when you said your book because I have it and it is amazing. And something else is percolating. Let me be quiet. I might be talking too much or whatever. But
no, that's okay. Yes, another is coming out this year.
I just love it. Girl, I had to have you on the podcast because you specialize in codependency and we're both in the mental health field. We're both therapists. But at the end of the day, you know, the Dear Fear series is here because nobody is exempt. And
Right.
even though we teach and we preach and we serve this information, I wanted to really talk to you about your own story with fear, or what you're seeing the themes are when it comes to the clients that you're serving in the entrepreneurship realm. So just in short, Taneshia, share with us, like, when you hear the word fear and you think about your own personal journey, what comes up for you?
When I hear the word fear, I think about just the years that I spent in that mindset, because I was fearful for at least, it's not like I'm old. I'm 37, but I was fearful for at least the first 33 years of my life, just not really knowing if I'm making the right decision, how things are going to work out. If I'm involved in this business project, or if I'm involved with this, in this intimate relationship, like, how is my decisions and my actions going to dictate whether or not I still keep it? Just being so fearful of, I don't know what I'm doing. So is it going to work out? That was like the mindset I had. That was the belief system I had about myself. I think you say it best with the imposter syndrome. It's like, I was like, can I really do this? Can I really be in a relationship? Can I really be an entrepreneur? Can I really be an author? And I just stepped out of that about 4 years ago.
Wow. So let me unpack that. You said the first 33 years of your life. So what I'm hearing is, in every layer of life, whether it was relationships, your outlook on yourself, career, dating, entrepreneurship, there always was a strand of fear there. And I can relate. Like, literally, I think people think because we're out here and we're actively in pursuit of our dreams that we have never struggled with this, or we're exempt. And really, we're not. And I think for me, the reason why I'm able to execute like I am is because fear is there. And I'm pretty defiant. I'm probably oppositional defiant, to be brutally honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so when I hear you can't do, or when I hear you shouldn't do, I'm like, oh, really? Well, watch me. Now mind you, because there's some things that I'm kind of contemplating right now, and fear is huge. And I've even actually started talking to it directly on my platform. So when you think back through your whole life and how you've actually executed and pushed fear to the side and did your work, what do you think is the biggest catalyst that helped you to do that, and that's continuing to help you push?
It's funny you say that, because as I reflect on it, it's interesting because I also feel like it was fear, because it got to a point where it's like, am I going to be fearful of everything to the point that I don't live? And then that made me fearful of the idea of me not pursuing any of my goals and not living. And just something came over me, and I was like, you have to find a way to get over this. And I started positive self-talk with myself, reminding myself of the things that I had accomplished. Like you've accomplished being homeless, you've accomplished getting a bachelor's degree, you've accomplished getting a master's degree. What makes you think that you can't take entrepreneurship on and tackle it and be great at it?
Yeah.
What makes you think you can't be an author? You've written 40-page essays and dissertations for school already.
Right.
So why do you feel like you can't write 100-page book? And when I really started processing all that, I was like, wow, that's true. Like, I remember I literally wrote like a 25-page paper in 2 days for school. Wow. Had to research everything. And I'm like, so how come I can't write a 100-page book in 2 months?
No, that it's so funny because I go on my rants and I say, think back to when you endured childhood trauma. Think back to where you were able to execute A, B, and C. And I think we forget all of the things we've already overcome. And then when we're here in this new space, we shrink. But literally, that's what empowers me, is thinking back to being exposed to domestic violence and both parents being addicted to crack cocaine, to where I had to steal food and clothes, and people at school thought that I was popping, but really that was not the case, right? And like a lot of people still don't know my story. I give little glimpses here and there, and I'm gonna be writing on my book or whatever, but we have to remember what we've already been able to come through, and then this is easy.
That's right. Yep.
And you mentioned the coping skill of reframing your negative thoughts and doing the positive self-talk. And I think that's the biggest gap. A lot of people don't know how to combat and how to address fear, imposter syndrome, all of the things. So what would you say to that person that they want to make a move in the positive direction, but they don't know where to start?
I would say be open with yourself about why you're struggling. Mm-hmm. Journal it out, talk it out with somebody you trust, and ask yourself, what's really stopping me from doing what I want to do and being successful at it, and how can I get to a place where I'm comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable? Because I feel like situations like, yours and mine and many other people that are watching, is like we forget that we were uncomfortable in that lifestyle that we had. And that's when we pivoted. That's when we said we have to make a change. And so stepping out and doing something that we want to do related to our goals for life, that same situation is going to come up. You're going to be uncomfortable, but it just comes with the process. It's a part of the process.
I love that. And basically, you're going to be uncomfortable, but you're also going to get through it like you've already have gotten through it. So it's like building that resiliency muscle.
Right.
And even re-triggering the resiliency muscle. Because I think what happens is our resiliency muscle goes dormant.
I love that, Lashana. Yes.
Like I'm cooking in the kitchen and like, this is not playing, but as I'm thinking of it, we exercise these great skills, but we don't have to use them because we've overcame the stuff. Mm-hmm. But we have to go back and get them and reactivate them, put a light under it. And literally it's from talking it out. Like right now with you and I talking about this topic, I know this is going to help you and I both, because now we're talking it out.
Talking it out. Yeah.
Super, super dope. So Taneshia, you wrote your book, right?
Yes.
And you're on your second one. You are a coach, you are a therapist, and all of the things. And what has been like your biggest aha moment of just moving through the obstacles, but staying on the horse is what I call it. Like, how are you keeping that momentum, and what's been your aha moment?
For me, my aha moment was knowing that I'm supposed to be doing this, because I doubted, myself in so many areas of life, because of fear and so many other, a negative self-talk I got, when I was younger. And I internalized those messages that I got, to be real. And I think when I saw myself write a book, and literally that book, like I sold, what was it? It was 112 copies in 2 hours.
Whoa.
Like,
that's
wow.
huge.
Like, I remember, like, I had to take off work the next day because I was like, I'm gonna have to take off work to pack all these books. Like, I was not expecting to have those books. And I was like, okay, this is God showing me, like, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Congratulations on that again. And that was just in the 2 hours. So the book that we're talking about, let us know, what's the title of it? What is it about? And before we wrap up, I'm definitely want you to share where they can go get it and how they connect with you, how they can connect with you. But what is the book and what is it about?
So the book is entitled When Depression and Anxiety Have a Voice, and is really about my journey of understanding that I did struggle with depression, and trying to figure out how do I balance that? Because, us being in the mental health field, there's a level of, we know about these things already. We help our clients be able to recognize the signs. And when I saw this in myself, I was so embarrassed and ashamed.
Yeah.
And I was like, how could this have happened to me? Then I went to this process of, well, I can fix myself.
Yep.
And so I was trying to read books, and I was on YouTube and all that. And when all of that kind of just got overwhelming, that's when I was like, I need to go to a therapist. And so the book talks about me going through the process of going to therapy, going to support groups, learning what was really weighing me down, which was the codependency, and then moving my life in a different way to focus on me.
I love it. And is that how you coined the name TJ Self-Care?
It is, yeah. It used to, funny story. So it used to be T Johnson Self-Care. And one of my friends kept saying TJ Self-Care. And I was like, why do you keep saying that? And she was like, honestly, T Johnson is too long. And I was like, is it? She was like, it needs to be TJ Self-Care. So I was like, all right, TJ Self-Care.
Girl, that's what I got you saved in my phone.
TJ Self-Care.
TJ Self-Care. And because I do business coaching, and I really love the brand of it, because at the end of the day, when I think of self-care, you immediately come to mind. That's true. Self-care is the coping skill to the work, right? In order to beat depression, anxiety, all of the things, childhood trauma, et cetera, fill in the blank, you got to put self first. Right. So you literally coined the name TJ Self-Care, but that's literally what you need to save your life.
Yeah, you do. Right? In all areas, you're right.
All areas. And I don't care if you're the CEO, the president, or you work at 7-Eleven. You must put yourself first and engage in self-care. It's kind of the thing, like my name is Miss West Creative Coach, but I specialize in mindset. Right. You must get your mind right, learn how to reframe, engage in self-care. So anyways, I'm going on a tangent. Awesome. So I got a outside the box question for you, right? My question is, what would you tell your 15-year-old self if you could talk to little TJ? Think about where she was, what is she doing, what is she thinking about, and what would you tell her? And then I'll talk to my little Lashana.
Let me see, 15-year-old TJ. That was 9th grade, 10th grade. I would tell her to make decisions based on what she wants to do, not be scared. Mm-hmm. Don't feel like you have to take care of your parents. Allow them to go through their own process.
Girl.
And it's really nothing wrong with you. This person is just struggling in general before you even came about. And, their perception of you is not reality. That's what I would tell them.
So dope. I see we can relate in many ways. So 15-year-old Lashana, I would tell her you don't have to lie on applications to work. It just means that you shouldn't have a job at 14 and at 15. This too shall pass because of what you're going through. It's not going to be your end result. So continue to stay strong, but continue to be a child and not wear a hat of a woman, a grown person, trying to do all the things before you're even ready. And then lastly, I would tell her, you are enough. I think that, teenagers need a lot of affirmations, a lot of support. They need more than anyone because they're like in transition of coming out of puberty, going into young adulthood, and it's just a vulnerable state. So I would definitely pump her up with lots of love, affirmations, and all that good stuff so she can stay on the right track.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you. All right. So TJ, what do you have popping right now? Like, what's cooking in the kitchen? What's simmering on a pot? You checking in the pot, seeing how it's doing, and you put it back down, and then you go season it. What you cooking, girl?
So the biggest thing I'm cooking up right now is another book. And I'm also cooking. So this is very exclusive. I'm sharing this because Lashana is my friend, y'all, outside of working together. So I'm cooking up a group coaching program. Because I know that, my current rate, I know everybody don't have $1,200 to work with me. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out how can I support people from another level, and then also more people by doing group coaching. So I've been experimenting a little bit with the ladies I have now, and I'm going to expand that in September. I plan on offering group coaching. So I'm going to be
amazing. I love it. And to be honest with you, Taneshia, that vicarious learning and being in the same atmosphere and knowing that you're not alone and that people have the same stories, and then them learning from the feedback that you're giving one person, I honestly think group coaching is more effective than one-on-one when you're ready for that level, right? Now, some of us need one-on-one. I get it. But that group aspect, it's a game changer. So I'm excited for you.
Yes. Yeah, I agree too. That group coaching is, and I think it's good just for people to see that other people are struggling in the same areas. Yeah, you're right.
So I'm about to put you on the spot again before we wrap up. Are you scared? Are you letting fear get in the way? All right. So I've been doing this with all of my guests, and we are about to take a couple minutes to talk to fear. Like, we're going to look fear dead in the eye, right in the camera, just like this. And we're going to talk to fear. And if you're like, I don't need to talk to fear, I don't struggle with fear anymore. Okay, cool. Well, let fear know what you've been doing and how you've been killing the game because you haven't been listening to fear, right? So I will go first. And remember, it's a role play. So we're talking to fear. It doesn't have to be long. I mean, you can make it a novel if you want to, or it can be short and sweet. This is like my third one because this is my third Dear Fear episode. So hopefully my conversations with fear have evolved. I'm gonna have to go back and rewind and see. I don't know. All right. Dear Fear. I know it seems like I'm giving you a lot of attention because I'm talking about you a lot, but the truth of the matter is I'm talking about you because I want you to know that I'm comfortable with you now. At first, I would shrink, I would be timid, and I would make decisions based off of what you would tell me. But now you're just a mere thought, and I keep you at the forefront to let you know what I don't want to go back to. But just know this, F you.
I love it. I love it.
You see, I'm comfortable. I'm real comfortable talking to fear. You see?
Yeah, you're real comfortable talking. Like you was like right here with it.
Period, Pooh.
Let me see. Okay, well, fear. I want you to know that you no longer have the same control over my life. I am living my life now. I'm no longer living for other people. I'm not listening to the negative messages that you told me for years. I am now focusing on what's best for me and what I need to do for me and allowing others to take care of themselves. And I know that over time, the relationship that we have is going to completely end because I am moving in a direction of empowerment, love, self-love, and just knowing what I want and knowing what I value.
Bye, fear.
Wow.
I love it. Yeah. How do you feel?
Wow, that experience is powerful. It was moments where I didn't even know what to say, like being scared of it.
But
Like,
you did well. And I seen you kind of pause. And that's cool because guess what? We have to do that. This is your journey. It's your conversation with fear, right? But I hope that was helpful for you and the listeners. It was definitely helpful for me because one thing that I'm realizing is that we are not as different from each other and from everybody in the world as far as we think. We are very, very, very alike in many ways, right? No matter your race, sexual orientation, et cetera, like fear, trauma, imposter syndrome, mental health has no face or color.
Yep.
And I'm just super excited that you have been going on your journey, and we know every day is not going to be perfect, right?
No.
Like we still struggle with blank, but that doesn't mean we got to stay there.
Yes. And let it define who we are.
Yes. Love it. So before we wrap up, Taneshia, how can people reach out to you? And then I always ask this too. What is like one thing, if I think of it, I need to hit you up because that's what you in the pocket on. That's your sweet spot.
So you can find me at www.tjselfcare.com. Also on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook under TJ Self Care. And one pocket, if you're struggling with, you need to hit me up is people pleasing. If you find yourself putting other people before yourself constantly, you need to hit me up so that I can support you for that.
She's clutch on that, y'all. Make sure y'all check out her Instagram. She's always going live and throwing out the game, that codependency, that people pleasing for freaking sure.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, Taneshia, thank you so much again for coming on the Bae Podcast. This is not your typical podcast series. I intentionally did this as an organic conversation so we could just really have a space to be vulnerable and decompress our thoughts. Thank you for saying yes. And for those that tuned in, if anything resonated, make sure to share this, tag this, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can be first to know when our next episode drops. And on that note, you guys have an amazing day. And Taneshia, keep killing it.
Thank you. Bye, guys.